Hello. It's 11. It's 3:11. It's 11 past 3 o'clock. 1:11. Double numbers. Um, I just got back from this place named Mapen in the parish that I'm from in Jamaica. I went there to get out of the house because I've been in the house since I got here. This is the first time. Well, my sister. I went to Kingston with her. Um, when I just got here, like a week after. And this is the first time I'm stepping out by myself. It was so surreal. It was, I went because you had to walk a bit of a ways to the to get a taxi to take you to the town. And and then I did that on my own. Oh my God! I brought my umbrella. I took my purse and I did it. I'm like I have to face the fear. I have to step out. And allow myself to be seen by people and say hello and stuff because the social anxiety has been one thing that has been holding me in the house. um, I I had a good morning. I got up early and I did some stuff. I did some cleaning. I um, i did cleaning. I need my phone. I did some cleaning. I did my routine and I did a lot of writing, a lot of what I call PMWs, a lot of affirmations and mind programming writing. I think that's what PMW mean. Because I came up with the abbreviation and I totally forgot what words they match. I think it's positive, positive, positive mind programming writing. Only the P for the programming is not there. Um, I got really skinny because I've not been eating a lot. I need to think. I need to think. Because you know what, I I thought when I heard your voice, it would put a kind of stress on me, and I didn't want to I didn't want to. Hey, white collar. Oh, I think I know who the. You're that guy. You're the guy from the store. Wow. To the yeah, I'm doing like my live stream is kind of chill today. I mean, it's chill most days because yeah, I know it's you because I'm kind of tired. Sure. I'll find you in my subscription. You subscribe, right? You click subscribe. Yeah, I think you click subscribe. White white color. Yeah, so if you're still there, I just followed you on Instagram. Sure, thanks. Yeah, I delve into a lot of new thought, philosophy. I'm a knowledge intuitive, and I became this an expert at understanding human behavior and the mind. So just saying that, I feel there's something pulling back inside of me, telling me not to say that. If I don't know, this trauma that I'm dealing with is pretty big. Going out today is, I think it's helping because it's helping me to go into, a lot of the fear that I have of being around people. And the more I go around Jamaican people, the more I feel as though I should not be my real self because, Jamaicans don't have patience for that stuff. Christ, I really hope let me stop hoping and just go into the positivity, um, the chill. So you do. I know you said you do. I don't know if you're still there, but I know you say you do road interview. That's so cool. It's something that I used to be interested in, but I because of well, number one, my social anxiety would not allow me to like to do that stuff, and I think I wanted people interviewing me and me not interviewing people. Maybe that's my ego. I don't know.
You know, I think you don't want to see me. I don't know why. I just feel you don't want to see me. And I'm not going to continue to, like, you said it's your phone and you could answer it, so why don't you answer and respond? If it's your phone, you're the one that said that last time. Anyway, I'm going to make it now. I thought I could see you for 2 minutes or something. I don't this is my first time going to make it by myself since I've been here. I'm trying to face my fear. And I was hoping I could.
I've always been conscious, you know.
Okay, yeah, but it's one general. I'm going to say about contact. So if you want to do like a collab with me or something, I can hit you up and then we talk about something or something on a live or something so we can get have a video to post. I'm not sure if you're interested in that, alright?
Well, we could do something if you don't mind talking about like spiritual, philosophical, deep stuff, because you do comedy. But sometimes comedians interview. Um, in fact, most of the times, like I don't know if it's the same way in Jamaica, but most of the time, like in certain cultures, you know, you have comedians interviewing um, people, all kinds of public figure, all kinds of people that does all kind of big, deep, conscious stuff, and they put their own little comedic spin on it. So um, I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll let you know. Yeah, I saw that you had another page. Yeah, this something Wasteman. Yeah, I saw that. So I don't know if you're the one watching right now, but I just sent you a message on Instagram. I was letting you know that um, I mean I don't do comedy. Well, actually, let me not talk about that. I used to write jokes, but I don't do comedy like that, and I'm not funny like on like an everyday basis like that. Um, I shouldn't have said that because now I'm gonna confuse you. No, but no. I do a lot of spiritual teaching and stuff. So I don't know if that it would coincide with what you do, or like I said in the recording that sometimes comedians interview, but when you have radio interview, most of the people on the radio, I don't know if they do it in Jamaica, but in America, most of the people on the radio they're the ones the comedians are the ones who are interviewing people and are they're the radio personality. So I mean, if you could if you could do the interview and and it somehow would appeal to your audience or appeal to some audience, and you put your own, maybe you'll act stuff in a funny way. I don't know, but I'm not gonna be a funny person in your videos. So I mean, it depends on your audience and who you're trying to appeal to, or if you just want to do something different. Yeah. So right now in this moment, because yeah, you're welcome, no problem. In this moment, I'm feeling this stiffness in my chest. It's this feeling of like feeling my voice is stuck inside. It's a combination of my feelings being stuck, not being able to express my feelings, express my fears to my family, to people I know, and also not being able to speak on a higher level to my family and people I know. When I went out today, I stopped at this jerk center area where I take the taxi to go to Maypen, and there was this girl that I went to school with. It was nice seeing her, but as soon as I saw her, I feel this fear come over me. Oh my God. If I'm my real self, these people are they're going to think I'm crazy. Like, I don't know. I keep saying I don't know what to do. It's a lot of pessimism, and I need to get my mind frame in a state where whether people um, approve of me, no matter how much fear come over me, to remind myself to get back on track, keep getting myself on track. It's like you fall off a million times and you get back on track just from reminding yourself and just choosing to do so until it becomes a more consistent thing. Especially somebody like me who has a body that is so sensitive. I have a system that is so sensitive. Everything affects me so easily. So this thing in my stomach, it's this tug and war feeling of um, my Jamaican accent with my American accent with my also um, the real me, higher self me, versus the me that I believe I have to show my family. Even saying the word higher self me felt weird. It still feels surreal, and it's all about feeling the fear and stepping out, feeling the fear and taking the action anyway. That actor, I think his name is Oscar Isaac. He said in a movie, and it's true, that when you feel the fear is when you need to act. Some of us feel as though we need to not act when you feel fear, and it contradicts itself, because there's this one spiritual teacher. um, I mean, y'all know about Abraham Hicks. Some people know about her. She was saying that people should get themselves in alignment, as in work on their fears before they take action. And then there's some other people, other teachers that believe that, I guess it depends on the level of fear. If you're in too much fear, then taking action is not a good thing. But maybe, you will always feel some fear when it comes to taking whatever action you need to take, and do what you need to do. And so, because of that, you will feel some fear. And when you feel the fear, is when you should act. Because otherwise, you stay stuck because you're so afraid of acting. And the longer you wait, the worse it gets, the harder it gets. I'm dying for the day when I could really get to speak the way I used to speak. And I know I'd be able to do it on camera, because I'm way braver on camera than I've ever been. So once I get back on track, I'll be able to do that. And from what I'm doing nowadays, by allowing myself to be seen by people, going on the street, saying hello, dealing with my social anxiety, and also I set an intention to go on a path and a mission um, of, I don't know if vulnerable is the right word, but allowing myself to just be soft and not get defensive, and whenever something embarrasses me, it's like it's a fear of rejection. And this fear of rejection, it causes me to get defensive and get argumentative and get combative, whenever dealing with family. So my new journey, my new mission is to simply allow myself to take a loss. There's people, I watch people sometimes, and they do things, and I used to marvel at how some people are just good at putting themselves in embarrassing situations. And it's crazy, because there's certain ways that I get ballsy. I could get ballsy in certain sense and with certain things. Like when I was in Orlando, or even before I went to Orlando, I decided I'm going to bring my music outside and dance, and that's something I was so shy to do when I was a child. So I need to continue to remind myself of where I was, and how far I've came on my journey, because it's a long time coming, and it's been very hard for a very long time. I forgot what I was talking about. I digress. Yeah, allowing myself to become soft and take a loss, and when something embarrassing happened, to just let it be. Sometimes you're walking on the street, you say hello to people, they don't answer. That kind of stuff would just crush me when years ago, and it still does. But I need to find myself in a place where I could just allow yourself to be crushed by it, to become softer. And in my case, it's good because I become more feminine, and you get to face life, and know that life is never going to be easy and perfect, and things are going to happen, and sometimes the most embarrassing things are going to happen in front of a bunch of people. How do I deal with that? I spent so much of my life trying to, you know like, what's that word I'm looking for? It's trying to, avoid conflict, to avoid embarrassment. And I've been avoiding too much, to the point where I just avoid my own success, and avoid my own, um, avoiding the things that I need to achieve. When you have way too much of a big fear of taking certain actions, you're too afraid of everything. You're too afraid of humiliation. You're too afraid of rejection. You're too afraid of embarrassment. You're too afraid of taking a loss. You're too afraid of failing. You become too afraid to the point where you're avoiding these things so much that you start to avoid the things that you shouldn't be avoiding. Because, to really, I heard this saying this morning. I think they said, uh, people who are afraid to fall don't jump, or they can't fly. If you're afraid to fall, you can't fly. Okay, you won't be flying, because if the aim is to fly, but you're too afraid to fall, you're not going to take yourself to fly, and potentially you will fall and learn from the falling. You don't even want to do that. You don't even want the lesson. So, I've spent so much of my life, avoiding confrontation, avoiding conflict, avoiding, and most of it, the root of it is shame. The root of it is there's a shame and a fear of embarrassment that is linked to those shames. Because I grew up in a culture that is full of shame. You know, um, Jamaica is full of shame. It's like there's a lot of strictness here. There's a lot of constriction. There's a lot of um, limitations. You know, for example, it's like Jamaicans and their sexuality. There's so much homophobia here, and there's everything is wrong. Everything is wrong, and if everything is wrong, we can't get things right. Because when we're supposed to step out and learn from the wrongs to get to the right, we avoid too much. And I think for a very long time, this has been a big problem in Jamaica. Jamaicans have been avoiding looking at themselves and looking at their dark side. They subscribe to a lot of things that doesn't serve them. They subscribe to a lot of belief systems that is just putting a lot of limitations on them. It's like when I was a kid growing up in Jamaica. I remember they used to live by this theme, and was in the music too. You see, the music has a lot of influence on people, and particularly the younger people. And they would have this thing, I don't beg friend. We don't beg friend. We don't beg friend. And that kind of stuff, is it causes a hardness in the Jamaican people and in the Jamaican men and in the Jamaican women, and that hardness caused the men to, I mean, in general, that hardness caused you to shut down your heart space. It's like your heart is closed to people because you don't beg friend. And I'm not saying you should beg friend, but there's nothing wrong with going to somebody you've hurt, or somebody who you believe has hurt you, and asking them what's going on, or what's going on between us, or what happened to our friendship, or let me apologize to you. Jamaicans didn't do this stuff for a very long time, and it's still like that. It's getting better because so much of American culture, because of social media, is influencing the way Jamaicans operate and the way they relate to one another now. Um, I since I came back, I've noticed a lot of changes, but there's still so much that needs to be healed. You know, you know. I don't beg friend. It's like that. I was trying to explain that it causes this hardness of the heart. It causes your heart to be hardened, and then it causes men to be trying to compensate with masculinity, because that hardness is a masculine energy. And so the men have to compensate to be tough, to don't beg friend, or to not do a bunch of to not do a bunch of things that probably they need to do to become softer yet stronger people. When you have men like that compensating with the masculinity, in a way they're rejecting and resisting their feminine side. And when you're resisting and rejecting your feminine side, thank you, white collar. You said I should get better soon. When you're resisting your feminine side and fighting your feminine side, you become more feminine because whatever you fight is gonna fight you and win. Whatever you fight is gonna fight you back and win. So when you're resisting your feminine side, um, you focus so much on not being feminine, which means you're focused on being feminine because the not something or the something is still the something in your being. Okay, the not doing something. So if I say I'm not going to my next door neighbor house and I'm so focused on not going there, the not going there um, is not going to affect me as much as the going there because my mind is on there. So whether I'm thinking about going there or I'm thinking about not going there, the fact that the going there is a part of it keeps my mind there. So what I'm saying is that whenever you're fighting something, when you're fighting your feminine side, you're fighting also your masculinity. And when you're fighting your feminine side and you keep it on your mind, you become more feminine as men. And we don't want that. Men don't want that, and women don't want that from men. Okay? What you have is nowadays a lot of women turning men into women and women into men, and this is creating an unhappy society. Yes, yes. Oh, well, I didn't know. I figured you went somewhere because um yeah, because the phone wasn't picking up the you weren't seeing my text, so I thought you weren't there. But then I left in the afternoon. Mhm. I went out there to look for the printing place and to no, I wanted to come out of the house and and to look for the printing. I didn't find a printing place, but I went into some stores to try to find to look if they have tops to go to the funeral. So um I mean I don't have any money, so I didn't buy anything, but I went to look. I wanted to face the fear of going there alone anyway. Yeah, it was all right. So yeah, yeah. So when men become so resisting of and fighting their feminine side because they're fighting being soft, because they're fighting their heart space of doing things like not begging friend. Um, it caused them to become more feminine. And when big men become more feminine, women become more masculine. When men become more feminine, um, they're not going to want to be providers. They're not going to want to step up um, and be men. Okay, and this is what has been going on. This is what has been going on in our society. Men feeling not competent about providing and protecting. Potentially, if you have a man who was always a fighter and a protector, even if he becomes really feminine, to the point where it's even affecting his sexuality, he probably could still fight to protect a woman or man. I don't know. But when you have, for the most part, when you have men becoming more feminine, too feminine, they're not gonna want to provide, protect, and serve, and be the force, this moving, this moving force that masculine energy represents. Um, so when that starts to happen, then women start to become more masculine because now women feel as though they have to take up where the men are not doing. But women don't want this. But again, in Jamaican culture, um, in Jamaican culture, they things like I don't beg friend, among other things that cause the hearts to shut down. It's caused women because that's a very feminine thing to open your heart. You can't do things like I explained before. You can't try to make amends because there's pride that comes up. That's the next thing. Jamaicans have a shitload of pride, a crapload of pride that doesn't serve them. Negative pride, not pride as in I'm proud of who I am. Pride as in um, I don't want to do that thing because it's gonna show me up to be weak or not strong or not good, not a good person. You know, especially weak. It's gonna show my vulnerability. It's gonna show me that I need people. So this pride, and I mean Jamaicans have that problem, fear of needing people. I can't need people because then if I need people, then I'm falling at their feet and I'm I'm at their mercy, which means they have the upper hand. They have the power to reject or to not reject me, and I can't afford that. So you have the men shutting down their heart space and becoming more feminine from rejecting their resisting and fighting their femininity, and then you have women doing the same thing, fighting their femininity. And again, whatever you fight, because women are supposed to be, I mean, women are generally more feminine. When you have women fighting their femininity, now again, whatever you fight is gonna fight you, and when now you fight it, it's like you're fighting and resisting your femininity. There's something else I need to explain. There's another aspect of this that is going to make it easier to understand. You're fighting your femininity so much that that you become more masculine as women because resisting your femininity. I need to start writing, but I'm writing though. Resisting your femininity means okay, whatever you resist persists. Whatever you fight soon win. If you're resisting your femininity, if men resist femininity, they become more feminine. If women resist their femininity, um, you would think they become more feminine, but no, that's not how it works. For women, my brain is not firing now like it used to be, so I could explain that. Okay, so you're resisting your femininity so much because you're focused negatively on it. So men or women, you're resisting it because the focus itself is negative, so it's going to affect you negatively. I need to write that down because it just hit me just now. Bear with me while I write this down. What you fight will fight you and win because of the negative focus on it. It affects you in the negative and unwanted way. I don't know where that's coming from. That's crazy. That don't even make any sense to me. I should totally anticipate a big. There's a big change coming. I should remember. In 2007, I was in 2007 was a I'm looking at myself on the camera, and I thought, they say that I look like the people in my father's side of family. I think I look like my mother because I see myself in. I shouldn't do that. Maybe I'll talk to a girl. Oh my God, too. Oh boy. Ah, I'm on the computer. I can't do that. So, oh boy. I'm ambitious, aren't I? Aren't I? Kirk Franklin, you're looking really like a little mushy nowadays. Okay, here's a universal. I mean, I don't have to force anything to happen. To just surrender, have faith, and watch everything unfold perfectly for you. Oh well, I hope that's how it will go. I see you as a queen and a lady. You're not like some lady. You can sweet my Okay, so yeah, so the way, because both men and women are focused the same way, it's gonna affect them in the same different way. Like, when you're a man, resisting femininity, cause you to become more feminine. Women resisting femininity cause you to become more masculine because of why you're resisting it. Because of, if you're resisting your femininity, because because you believe it's bad, and the focus, because it's the same reason why men are resisting it, because they believe it makes them soft. And in this world, women are supposed to be soft, but not too damn soft. In the man's world, that's how it is. So, um, I was trying to make the point that, um, these things, the way Jamaicans are, with a lot of pride about needing people and expressing themselves, it caused their heart space to be so shut down. Um, I mean, you know, Jamaicans have not been very sophisticated about loving one another and showing affection. It was just always the way we deal with one another, always hostile. Like I said, it's getting kind of better now because of social media and becoming Americanized kind of a little bit. Um, some people have a problem with American culture in that sense. And the negative things about America we should not want. But there's nothing wrong with learning from other cultures, things that might benefit you, things that they do a certain way that works for them and it will work for you and will make your life better, will improve your living and your well-being, improve your outlook in life, um, improve the way you see, life in general, and ultimately improve your, what's that word I'm looking for, your welfare, just improve life for you. Everything we're doing in life is for love, and life is revolving around love and revolving around relationships. So when it comes to, if you have cultures where relationships being um, are not being cultivated in a healthy way, then you could bet that culture in general is going to have a lot of, sickness in it. Um, when you have men turning into women, women turning into men, you have a bunch of men who become pussies, don't want to provide, don't want to protect. Women don't like them. Women are miserable because of that. Men are miserable because women are, I'm sorry, the number one perpetrator in this situation. Feminism. And I think what I wanted to touch on as far as Jamaica is, for a very long time, Jamaica in the music used to preach independence for women a lot. Now, even though every human being should have some level of independence, preaching independence for women so hard in one culture is bad, because you're going to create a bunch of masculine women that is going to in turn create a bunch of feminine men, because these women think that they want independence, they could do anything, they don't want to depend on a man, and it's not true, because nobody is an island, nobody came here to be on their own. We depend on one another for everything, and we're depending on one another for relationships. Okay, there is no such thing as independence, really. We have to have some level of independence, because we are our own person, and even though We were born alone, but our mothers gave birth to us. She was a part of it. Still, um, you need some level of independence, but we cannot become too independent where we think we don't need people. And this is where the whole independent woman, um, uh, like I don't know what do I call it? This big movement of being an independent woman in Jamaica was a big thing, and so people's sexualities became um, kind of a like unbalanced. You know, now Jamaica has a lot of homosexuals, and I'm not saying something is wrong with homosexuals. I'm saying people should be homosexuals if they're born that way or they became. That's just what they are. But forcing the homosexuality with unnatural living, and forcing homosexuality with whether vaccines or forcing. Oh my God! I don't think we're gonna shut down my channel for that. Forcing homosexuality with political correctness, forcing it onto people is not healthy. Homosexuality in and of itself is not bad, or neither should homosexuals suffer because people decide that they should not exist. But homosexuality should not be forced. It should not be forced because we're forcing independence on women or forcing um, men to become um, women to not become nurturers, and men should become nurturers, and men should take care of the home, and women should go out and work. And some people, this is what they want and it works for them, great. But for the most part, women don't want this. Women want men to take care of them. Women want men who are providers and protectors. It becomes a natural order of life only because this is what we desire. And our universe is thriving and is creating based on desires, based on what we desire, based on what we want. What is wanted is what is being created in the universe. It's not it's not what people want to consciously believe in on their conscious mind, based on what is right and wrong. It's not based on right and wrong. It's based on desires, based on what is going to make people happy. It just so happened in this society, what is going to make people happy are frowned upon, are told that these are what is going to make you happy is not what's right. What is right is held up as the standard, and that is not the natural order of life. The natural order of life says what I desire, um, what I desire, and what we desire collectively is what we want and is what we want to create and what should be based on the fact that it's going to make us happy. It's happiness. Okay, happiness is and love and connection is the order of our lives, and therefore desire has to be the order of life because what we desire is gonna what's gonna make us happy. So, um, if you continue to do what's right, you're living somebody else's idea of what um, happiness should be and what life should be, and nobody knows what happiness is but you. You know in yourself what makes you happy, not society, not religion, not the government, not socialization, okay? Not any institution, not any organization, not any belief system, not any faith. It is you. All of the power is in you. And some people might say, well, what if I desire to kill? Is that what? But you see, people don't really desire to kill. People desire to kill, but that is because people. Um, okay, what is my highest and best response answer to this? Because People think they desire to kill and to do bad things because it gives them a relief. It gives them a relief, and it causes them to avoid being soft, avoid being. I'm gonna look at the word vulnerable because I don't know what the hell my sister talking about. Yeah, people think that they want to do they desire bad things, but that's because they're trying to compensate for not being perceived as soft. But people don't really want to do bad things. They're doing bad things because it gives them a relief. It's not bringing them healing. It makes them feel better to do bad things because when they do bad things, it makes them feel powerful. But people really do not have a natural, inborn desire to do bad things. They just can't. They just come into life, being doing bad things because they believe this is what is going to make them stronger, make them tougher. But people don't really desire on a more on a soul level. People don't desire to do bad things, and that's where our real true desires that we're creating is coming from. We're also creating these bad things that desiring with our conscious mind, you know, but because that's because mind creates. But at the same time, um, it is not really in what it's not what we really truly want. People think they want bad things because it represents strength to them, a false sense of strength, not a real natural sense of strength, a false sense of strength. I think I'm going to end the stream. I talked about some good things, so I'm going to keep it.